All right, for reading today, we are going to continue talking about story elements, but we are specifically looking at setting today. So, the setting has two parts to it. It means where and when a story happens. Where a story happens could be outside in the snow, underwater in the ocean, or inside the school. Those are all places where a story could take place. Now, setting is also when a story takes place, which means time, day, season, anything like that with relevance of time. At noon during the summertime. So that's an example of a specific time during the day and then also a season. On a rocket in the future. So it's giving you a where and a time frame. And then on Halloween 100 years ago, so all the way back in the past, as well as a specific time frame and time of the year. So, setting. Do you think a story would change if it had a different setting? Yes, it definitely changes the outcome of a setting. That's why, or the story. That's why it is so important. The setting can be important to a story. So, like if you look at the story Frosty the Snowman, the setting is obviously winter, that time of the year. So, winter is important to the story because why? What do you see in this picture? Frosty is a snowman, and snow has to be in the winter. How do you think the story would change if it were in the summertime? Now, I could probably think of one way the story would change. Frosty would probably melt and he would not be around as long, right? That would definitely change the problem of our story and then also the outcome. Um, yep, there we go. Frosty would melt if it was summertime, and that definitely changes the outcome of our story. So, now I want you to look at a few of these. Now, I'm just going to click on them as we go. So just keep following along and think to yourself what possibly they could be. So, um, the two things that would describe the setting. All right. So I want you to think to yourself, what is it? Where, why, when? Where and when. So hopefully you were thinking to yourself that is correct. Now, um, think about this picture here. Now, I know this is probably pretty easy to look at, but it's got two things happening. Those are not stars, those are snowflakes. So, when would our story or our setting be taking place? At night, in the summer, in the morning, or in the winter? At nighttime, we can tell because of the moon, not summer. Winter, those snowflakes are another indication of it being a seasonal setting, right? And now I want you to think of the setting of the three little pigs here. So if you think about the background that they're showing, the illustrations, um, there are a few different settings, but one of these settings should stand out to you. So the ocean, pigs can't swim, right? So we know the setting can't be in the ocean. A school. Well, if it's fictional, pigs probably could be in a school, but I don't remember them being in a school. I remember them being in a brick house. That big bad wolf is trying to blow down that brick house. All right. So now today, you guys are going to be practicing some setting topics. You're going to read the sentences on the task cards. Then I want you to think to yourself, where would this specific incident take place? Um, how would this affect my story if it was in a different place? So you're going to be reading the 10 task cards and then writing your answer on that very last slide in the grid. If you have any questions, please ask.